This is EARL Purdy with the Way of Mastery. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. Welcome to the Way of Mastery on Facebook Live with EARL Purdy. I want to welcome you to the Way of Mastery with EARL Purdy. We are going to go deep in the Way of Mastery. We are going to go deep here on Facebook Live. So, we're going to be on page 346. Page 346 in the Way of Mastery. Hello, mighty companions. We're going to be doing a very powerful section called Exercises to Observe Your Choices and Choose Again. Exercises to observe your choices and choose again on page 346 in the Way of Mastery, the Way of Knowing. We're going to be in lesson 30, exercises to observe your choices and choose once again, on page 346. So we know that you need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. And some of the ideas may be quite startling. You are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. So welcome, mighty companions. This is EARL Purdy. We're going to do the Way of Mastery, and we have a very powerful section that we're going to do. I'm glad that you're here with me. Don't forget to share the video on your timeline, and I'm going to jump right in it. First thing I want to ask you is to focus on the paragraph. First, I want to ask you to take a breath. First, I want to ask you to just pause. If you just got in and just got on, I want to ask you to pause and take a breath and bring yourself to center, because you've probably been out in the world taking care of all the distractions. Now you want to go into another part of yourself. Now you want to tune into another part of yourself. So take a breath. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. We're going to continue on the topic of making versus creating. First, I go through the paragraph, and then we do what it's saying. This is about experiencing what the Way of Mastery is saying. Not analyzing it, but remembering it. So, for instance, just by way of a simple exercise, How are you approaching this lesson? It says right here, do you remember to begin this lesson, as we've suggested many times, begin this lesson as one who knows that they're already Christ? Are you beginning these lessons knowing that you are already loved, that you're already the one self? Or are you merely sitting down to abide with a brother and a friend who is your equal? And do you see the truth in them? It says, do you remember to open the heart and trust? Did you remember to open the heart and trust that what emerges in the form of your experience as you listen to these words is exactly what's perfect for you in the moment? Are you trusting that what's going to come through this experience for you is perfect for you in this moment? Or do you sit down? Do you listen to the way of mastery? Are you listening to what we're doing right now? Did you sit down determined to make yourself like Yeshua? Did you sit down believing that it's just about memorizing the words and trying to get the concepts? The course, the way of mastery says, the ego mind, which is the making mind, the ego mind is the making mind, misses all knowledge. If you're always trying to make something happen, the way of mastery says you're missing all knowledge. But what is it that you need? It says what you need is a relaxed mind. What you need is a healed mind. Because one of the characteristics of a healed mind is that a healed mind is like a sponge that's constantly learning. The healed mind is like a sponge that's constantly learning and being shaped by what it's learned. So what is a healed mind? A healed mind is like a sponge that's constantly learning, and then the healed mind is allowing itself to be shaped by what it's learning. Hello, all my mighty companions, Mark, Kim, Maggie, Diana, and all the other hosts of people that are online right now. Now, the second paragraph says the making mind has no room in it. If you have an ego mind, if you have a mind that's all about making, the way of mastery says the making mind has no room in it to receive anything new. Why is it that the making mind doesn't have any room in it to receive anything new? Because the ego mind, the mind that makes, it has already decided what the truth is. So an ego mind, like if you're listening to this and you're listening to this from your ego, then you've already decided what the truth is. And then you're just trying to fit this into whatever you think the truth already is. And the way of mastery says that the making mind has, number one, already decided what the truth is. Number two, it's decided what the truth should look like. If a person is in their making mind, if they're in their ego mind, they've decided what the truth is. They've also decided what it should look like. And they've already decided what the truth should sound like. So a making man, a person that's focused on making all the time and getting all the time, it misses the moment in which it can observe, and the moment it could be a conduit for, as well as one who is creating an experience of love. So a person that's busy making, a person that's busy getting, is a person that misses the moment. The moment, what moment? The moment that you could be the conduit for creating and experiencing love. I want to talk about love, real love. I love to hear the word love. I'm glad to study these spiritual teachings that talk about love. You listen to the news, you listen to the average person, and you don't hear the answer is love, that we need to be expressing love for each other. So one of the things I love about the Way of Mastery is it talks about love. And it talks about us loving each other. So in this moment then, you're quite free. And you are free to open the heart. You are free to relax the mind and to realize you are present right now with me, a brother, and a brother is an equal. So we are present right now with each other. We're in real time. Do you know that? This is a live broadcast. That means every mighty companion around the world, and I do mean around the world, that's watching this presentation, we are all together in this present moment. And we're together. So we are actually where? We are actually in the field of love. The Way of Mastery says we are in a love field. All that arises in mystery and returns to its source. Everything is a mystery. If we would be honest with each other, we'd have to admit that we don't really know at the level of the body. We don't really know where all of this came from, what it all is. We still can't. You understand? The Way of Mastery is saying, if you enter into such a field of mind, if you enter into a field of mind that is focused on love, then you are free. If you are in love, you are free. If you are truly allowing yourself to be a conduit of love, you are free. Because if you are allowing yourself to be a conduit, if you're allowing yourself to be a channel for love, then you are indeed one who really knows. So a person that knows is a person that is in the field of love. A person that's in the field of love is a person that's not trying to get and make. The person that is in the field of love, they have a healed mind, and your healed mind is like a sponge, and you're learning, and then you're letting that new learning shape your mind. So I want you to join me. I want you to join me in the love mind. I want you to join me this very moment, this one right here. I want you to join me. Then you can prove to yourself how infinitely powerful you are. What you can apply in this moment can be applied to all moments. What we're giving ourselves this moment can be applied to all moments. Now, likewise, if your mind is currently insisting that you can't be that powerful spiritual one in this moment, you are doing the very same thing. You are using the infinite power of the mind to choose to remain a maker. And do you know what happens if you choose to use the infinite power of the mind to still be focusing on making instead of creating? You are suffering. So that means that a person that is suffering, according to the Way of Mastery, is a person that is a maker, not a creator, a person that's a maker. So either way, you get a chance to remain quite right, because you are a powerful, infinite being. So you are expressing all the time, you are expressing your infinite and perfect freedom. And in your infinite and perfect freedom, you can create, or you can make. You can love, or you can fear. You can have joy, or you can have suffering. You can be in love, or you can choose to be in fear. You can choose to be in peace, or you can choose to be in anxiety. But either way, you are still expressing your infinite and your perfect freedom. You have the freedom to continue to think the way that the world has taught you to think, or you're free to think the way the mastery course is teaching you to think. But that's still an expression of your infinite and perfect freedom. So what I want you to do right now, because this is a very participatory section, I'd like you to ask, go inside yourself, go within yourself, and I want to get you to ask yourself, would I choose to experience what is unending? Would I choose to experience what is myself? Would I choose to experience myself as a creator? Or would I choose to experience myself as a maker? So stop right now. Stop right now while we're all together. Stop right now and ask yourself, would I choose to experience myself as a maker? Or would I choose to experience myself as a creator? Will I choose to experience myself as a creator? Or will I choose to experience myself as a maker? So ask yourself that. Would I choose to experience myself as a maker, or would I choose to experience myself as a creator? Will I choose to experience myself as a maker, or will I choose to experience myself as a creator? So what's going to happen if you choose the path of the creator? Well, if you choose the path of the creator, then the first thing you need to do is to remember that creating is not the same as making. So if you said you want to be a creator, what is the first thing you have to realize? If you've decided to be a creator, the first thing you must realize is that creating is not the same as making. That's the first thing. Creating involves seeking first the kingdom of heaven, which is peace, which is truth, which is love. So creating involves seeking first the kingdom of heaven. So what does that mean? What does it mean to seek first the kingdom of heaven according to the way of mastery? What does that mean? Well, a lot of people think that seeking the kingdom of heaven means that you have to sell all you own, get a backpack, buy a ticket to Kathmandu, spend 17 years hiking through the Himalayan mountains until you find just the right cave, and then you're going to spend another 17 years of astute meditation and prayer before you begin to get your first glimpse of God. To the making man, that's what seeking the kingdom means. It means you got to go somewhere else, do something that appears to be spiritual somewhere else. You got to meditate in a cave on top of a mountain for 17 years, and then maybe you'll get a glimpse of God. That's what the making man thinks seeking this kingdom of heaven means. Or you could seek the kingdom of heaven this way. You could simply turn the mind to the peace of God right where you are. You could seek the kingdom of heaven right where you are, which is the same as turning the mind to the peace of God. You could turn your mind to focus on the peace of God right now, right where you are. You could accept the peace and the love and the joy of God right where you are right now in this very moment. Some people think to get to enlightenment, you have to travel to India. You have to go into a cave. You have to meditate for 17 hours a day. The way of mastery says you could turn your mind to the peace of God right where you are right now. you could do it right now at this very moment, then if you could turn to the peace of God and focus on the peace of God and want the peace of God first, then right here, right now, wherever you are, you would have gained everything that all the yogis in the caves ever gained. You would gain what all of the Buddhists and the Christ have achieved. The kingdom is just a choice away. The kingdom of heaven, the reality of peace, the reality of love is just a choice away. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. Say that. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. Let's go. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. Let's say it. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. We choose now for the perfect peace of God. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. We choose now for the perfect peace of love. Take a breath. Say this when you get a chance. Say it now. When we go back in the music, say this now. Say it, say it, say it, say it, say it. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. Now take a breath. Take another breath. Okay. All right. Okay. See, I have to get it in my, I have to get it in me. I can't just do this from an intellectual perspective. I have to feel it. I have to get my energy into it. You know what I mean? I have to funk it up a little bit. So, if you choose now for the perfect peace of God, just like that, you've achieved all that needs to be achieved. If, and it's a big if you will receive it. Will you receive the perfect peace of God? Will you let yourself receive the perfect peace of real love? So what does to create mean? To create means that you are committed to seeking first the kingdom of heaven. And what is the kingdom of heaven? The perfect peace of God. Then you have to allow yourself to celebrate the fact that you are seeking first and foremost the peace of the Creator. And you have to keep allowing yourself to celebrate that all you want is the peace of God, no matter what your physical eyes are showing you. No matter what your physical eyes are showing you, you must keep celebrating and keep focusing on the idea that all you want is the peace of God, no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in your personal life, no matter what's going on with everybody you know. To be a creator, what must you do? You must allow yourself to celebrate that all you are seeking is the peace of God. Regardless of how your brain and your mind is interpreting, regardless of how your mind is creating the perceptions that you have, no matter what your physical eyes are revealing to you, regardless of all of that, the truth is you are free. Regardless of how limited you may think your experience is, no matter what limitations you may think you're under, you are free. That's what a creator thinks. A creator is seeking first the kingdom of heaven. What's the kingdom of heaven? The perfect peace of God. And they're committed to it. A creator is committed to the peace of God no matter what they are physically going through, no matter what they are physically experiencing. You are free. And whatever is coming up, whether you realize it or not, whatever is coming up, the way a master says, it is perfectly harmless. That's right, Kim. No matter what craziness is going on within your life, you seek first the perfect peace of God. That's right, Quana. You keep celebrating that all you want is love. All you want is the peace of God. No matter what it looks like you are seeing, no matter what it looks like you are experiencing. That's right, Demola. The kingdom of heaven is the PPG, the perfect peace of God. That's a great way of putting it. Now remember this. Forms, the physical forms come and go. Forms come and go. What is it that always remains? Love. Love always remains. So where else could you possibly find freedom? Where else could you possibly find freedom except as somebody that's abiding as the decision for love? You see, I want to live, I want to be the decision for love. You want to be the decision for love. You want to be the decision for love. Now remember, what are we talking about? We're talking about the attitude and the state of mind of a creator. We're not talking about the attitude and state of mind of someone who's trying to make and get. A getter and a maker, that's not the mind of a creator. The mind of a creator is a mind that wants to have complete freedom because they made the decision to be love. You see, I've made the decision to be love. I may not always see myself that way. I may not always feel that way, but I've made the decision to be love. So that means I've made the decision to know myself as the creator. That's right, Brooke. Love remains. Love is eternal. That is exactly right. Now, what is the main thing? What is another thing you need to do if you're going to be a creator? What is another thing you must do if you're going to be a creator? You will need to give up striving, because striving is part of the world of the maker, the world of the ego. In the world of the ego, in the world of the maker, it's all about striving. It's all about getting. And you will need to give yourself permission to cultivate a different kind of mastery. Instead of putting your energy into striving, if you want to be a creator, you focus all your energy into allowing. So now you are not going to be about striving and making and getting. In order to be a creator, you put your attention on allowing. Allowing. Now, do you know that allowing is not passivity? Allowing is not passive. Allowing is not sitting on your pillow waiting for God and waiting for the universe to manifest good things in your life. Allowing is not you just sitting back passively waiting for God and the universe to manifest good things in your life. Listen to me. Allowing is not passivity. Allowing is not just sitting back waiting for the universe to manifest the things that you want. Allowing, now do you want to know what allowing really is? Allowing is the act of turning within. Allowing is the act of looking within. Allowing is the act of appreciating your oneness with God. Allowing is the act of turning inside, appreciating your oneness with God, and simply asking, Father, what would you like to create in this moment? My Creator, what would you like to create in this moment? Stop right now and do that with me. Say, my Creator, what would you like to create in this moment? Or you could say, Father, what would you like to create in this moment? Whatever feels the most comfortable for you. You could say, Love, who is God, what would you like to create in this moment? God, what would you like to create in this moment? See, I like to say it this way. God, my Creator, what would you like to create in this moment through me? God, what would you like to create in this moment? Ask yourself. That's right, Jacqueline. Allowing is not passivity. I'm happy too, Quana, to know that it's not about striving. So you ask the Creator, what would you like to create in this moment? And as an example, let's say suddenly a thought comes. And the thought reveals that you need to drive your car 35 miles to visit a friend who really needs to see you and you all could have dinner together. Driving your car 35 miles is not an act of passivity. That takes energy. So allowing doesn't mean that you won't be moving. Allowing doesn't mean you won't be expressing yourself, because you're asking the Creator, what do you want me to you're asking the Creator, what would you like to create in this moment? Then you get some type of inspiration, you get some type of inclination, you get some type of idea, and then you go and you act on that. That's not passive. So what is allowing? Allowing is a very powerful state of being. Allowing doesn't resist anything in the field of action. So allowing doesn't resist anything. So that means if Spirit told you that you needed to create a retreat center in northern Mexico, for instance, you simply get on it. Even though you have no idea how you're going to do it, you still get on it. You merely make yourself available and show up. First, what's the thing you do? You make yourself available to God and you show up. If you really, really, really are feeling the inspiration and the connection and the guidance to do something, you simply get on with it, even though you have no idea how it's going to come to pass. But what you want to do is you want to make yourself available. And what's the other part? You make yourself available and then you show up. Just like right now for this presentation, for this live broadcast, you made yourself available and you showed up. Now, on the outside, do you want to know what a creator looks like? On the outside, a true creator may look very ordinary. A true creator may look like an ordinary person. A true creator might be somebody that's not getting a lot of applause and recognition from the world. A true practicing creator may not be anyone famous, anyone that you know. A true creator may look very, very ordinary. Their picture might not be on the front of Time magazine. A true creator's picture might not be on the front of People magazine. And a true creator might not be centerfold in Playboy or Playgirl. A true creator may not be someone that is famous or well known or special in the world at all. But what is a true creator? A true creator is somebody that is delighting in doing what? Delighting in allowing the flow of life. A true creator is always wanting to find ways to touch hearts. A true creator wants to touch hearts. A true creator wants to touch minds and hearts. My fondest desire, my greatest desire is to touch your heart. My greatest desire is to touch your mind. I'm telling you, that's my greatest desire. My greatest desire is for us to exchange love with each other. That's my greatest desire, that this is not just an intellectual meeting, but this is an opportunity for the creators to meet and for the creators to love each other and for the creators to touch each other's minds with love. So how do I want to touch your mind? I want to touch your mind with love. How do I want to touch your heart? I want to touch your heart with love. The creator is not trying to store up a bunch of money for a rainy day. A creator is just watching. A creator just wants to be a conduit for the extension of love. A creator just wants to be involved with the creation of the extension of love. But that creation might require that you store up some money, because the creator doesn't resist anything in the world. A creator would be someone that wouldn't necessarily be trying to save up a lot of money for a possible emergency in the future, but they also wouldn't be not saving up money for something in the future. A creator doesn't resist anything, because saving money isn't seen as bad, and not saving money isn't seen as bad. A creator understands that it's just an instrumentation for carrying out the will of God, and the will of God is the extension of love. So sometimes in order to carry out God's plan, it may look like I'm saving money, and sometimes to carry out God's plan, it looks like I'm not saving any money at all. But whatever I'm doing, and whatever I have, I want it to be an instrumentation that can be used to carry out God's will. And what is God's will? God's will is the extension of love. So I would like to say to you, I want everything in my life to be used for the extension of love. I want my finances to be used for the extension of love. I want my body to be used for the extension of love. I want all of my material things to be used for the extension of love. I want my emotions and feelings to be used for the extension of love. I want my thinking to be used, my mind, my brain to be used for the extension of love. I want my spiritual focus to be used for the extension of love. When you are involved in being a conduit for the extension of love, your will is one with God's. So how do you know when your will is one with God? How do you know when your will is one with the Creator? Your butt just wants to be an extension of love. You just want to be a conduit of love. You just want to be an extension of truth. You just want to be an extension of freedom. You want to be a means for freedom and love and abundance and truth to come into the world. So the difference between making and the difference between creating, It's essential if you're going to be in the way of knowing from the way of mastery. If you want to be in the way of knowing, you must know the difference between making and creating. So what do you want to do? What is it that you should do? Well, what you should do is spend some time in abiding in the innocence of observing your life. Innocently observe your life. I want you to start doing what? I want you to start to innocently observe your life and do what? Begin to notice when your energy gets caught up with making and getting rather than creating and loving. Notice when you get caught up in what you got to get, what I need to make, what I need to get, what I need to make. Notice when you're getting caught up in making. Notice when you're getting caught up in getting. Innocently. Now, don't judge yourself. Don't blame yourself. Don't bash yourself when you find yourself striving and trying to make and trying to get. But just notice when your energy gets caught up with making instead of creating. So where have you given your life over to making, wishing you could create, but you know all you're trying to do is make and get? What are you focused all the time on making money, making money, making money? Or is your focus on making love, making love, making love? Is your focus on making career success, making career success? Is your focus on making your body a certain way, making your body a certain way? Is your focus on making someone else a certain way? Where have you given your life over to making? Where have you given your life over to getting? So what should you do? You should begin to observe the moments in your day when you can choose to create. What should you do? Observe the moments in your day that you could be choosing to create, that you could be choosing to seeking first the peace of God, where you could be seeking to extend love, where you could be, notice those times in your day that you could just be quiet for a moment and ask Spirit, what is it that you want to create through me in this moment? Remember that to choose to create means, I'm going to share with you what choosing to create means. I try to answer the questions that would come up in a person's mind as we go along. That's right, Yvette. Creating and loving are the same thing. Phoenix, conduit is a can do it in love. That's right, Demola. Let's give over our whole life to be used as a means for the extension of love. That's what a creator does. Now, if you're a maker, you're still just using your infinite power and you're using your freedom to choose to be a maker. That's okay, but there's a lot of suffering in making, obviously. There's a lot of joy and ease in allowing yourself to be a conduit that the universe creates what it wants to create in love through you in this moment. So to choose to create means, right here it says, I give this moment over to the will of my Father. I wonder how I could simply surrender into being the presence of one who has accepted the kingdom for himself or herself. And then I will see where it carries me in the next second. I give this moment over for the will of my Father. I wonder how I could simply surrender into being the presence of one who has accepted the kingdom for him or herself. And then I will see where it carries me in the next second. So you can see that we are being given very specific things to think, say, and do in order to allow ourselves to be creators, which would be the same as allowing ourselves to be free. These are the answers to the questions that you ask yourself all day long about how can I allow myself to be more satisfied? How can I allow myself to be more fulfilled? How can I allow myself to know my abundance? How can I allow myself to have no cares and no worries and no anxieties? These sections that we're covering right now, these paragraphs that we're covering right now, they are giving us the exercises. They're giving us the thoughts that we should be using in order to have the kind of incredible life that we like to have. So that you begin to see that regardless of what is arising in the conditions around you, regardless of what's happening around you, regardless of what other minds are doing in this world, if you say that you want to be a creator, that you want to be a conduit for God and a conduit for truth and a conduit for love, nothing that is happening in the world will have an effect on you. If you're really being used by love, if you're really being used by God, the way of mastery says, regardless of what's arising in the conditions around you, regardless of what's going on in other people's minds, no matter what anybody else is doing in the world has no effect on you. I've said that this world is what? This world is a big clash of dreams. The vast majority of the minds in this world are still far more committed to illusion than to reality. The majority of minds in this world are much more committed to separation than oneness and unity. But basically, the only thing that's happening in the world is there are just events that are arising and events that are passing away. They are just events that are happening and passing away. Then another event happens and passes away. And then another event happens and passes away. That's what's happening in the world. Just a lot of events happening that pass away. What's the news today won't be the news tomorrow. So in any context, no matter what you are experiencing, do you know that your mind remains free to give up making and getting and striving for creating, extending, and loving? In other words, you as a creator are free to, you as a creator, you are free to surrender this moment and any moment to the will of God. That's right. Our culture teaches the opposite of everything I'm sharing with you. But that's what makes it new. New means different. So when a person says, I am ready for something new, they should be meaning that they are ready for something different. So the way of mastery isn't supposed to be saying the things that we've learned. It should be saying something opposite to what we've learned. So what is accepting the atonement for yourself? What does that mean, to accept the atonement for yourself? It's another way of saying, I'm going to accept the presence of love. Accepting the atonement for yourself means I am going to accept the presence of love. I'm going to breathe love in, and I'm going to celebrate love. I'm going to accept love. I'm going to breathe love. I am going to celebrate love. I am going to accept the presence of love. I am going to breathe love in. I am going to celebrate love. So what does it mean to accept the atonement? It means I'm going to accept that love is present in my life. It means I'm going to breathe the love in. I'm going to receive the love. I'm going to let the love in. And accepting the atonement, or at one mint, which is what some people like to say, but it's really pronounced atonement. Accepting the atonement for yourself is celebrating love. Because that's the only thing there really is anyway. The only thing that there really is anyway is love. The only thing that's going to remain is love. Then you ask yourself, I wonder what would love to be created in this moment. I wonder what would love to be created in this moment. Say that to yourself right now. I wonder what would love to be created in this moment. I wonder what would love to be created in this moment. I wonder what would love to be created in this moment. I wonder what would love to be created in this moment. And then what you want to do is observe the incredible, delightful expression of that in that moment. So what would I want to create in this moment? I wonder what would want to be created in this moment. I wonder what would want to be created in this moment. Ask yourself, I wonder what would want to be created in this moment. So when Jesus said, the meek shall inherit the earth, Jesus meant that eventually there will be established as the pervasive quality of the human consciousness, just this state of being. The world one day will be populated by creators. The world will be populated by creators. And who are creators? People who get up in the morning and say, this day really belongs to the Creator. This day really belongs to God. One day the world is going to be populated by creators, which are people that get up in the morning and go, you know what, this day really belongs to the Creator. I am just created to extend the Creator's will. Father, Mother God, what would be a groovy way to hang out this day? What would a creator say when they would wake up in the morning? A creator would say, this day really belongs to the Creator. I am just created to extend the Creator's will. I am just created to extend God's will. I am just created to extend love's will. Father, Creator, what would be a groovy way to hang out this day? So what is the way of mastery telling us? That this world one day is going to be populated by very awake conscious beings that are creators. What is the characteristic of an awake conscious being that's a creator? That would be somebody who wakes up in the morning and says, this day really belongs to God. I am just created to extend God's will. God, what would be a groovy way to hang out this day? Now, some people might hear, I just need to go out to a forest and cool out and listen to the birds. Others might hear some other different message. But what you're going to do when you are a creator, you are going to set about and do whatever Spirit asks you to do. You're going to do whatever God asks you to do. And why would you do that? Because if you have a mind of a creator, then you have a mind that is no longer in resistance to love. You have a mind that is no longer resistant to the truth if you have the mind of a creator. If you have the mind of a creator, what else has happened? Well, if you have the mind of a creator, then you have also reestablished sanity. And so if you have a sane mind, then there's nothing to fret about. If you have a truly loving mind, there is nothing to fret about. If you are just wanting to serve the will of love, which is not sacrifice, then you do not fret about anything. Do you know that it's the mind involved in making? It's the mind that wants to make that listens for the impulse of God. Like the maker, the ego mind says, I'm going to listen to God. I'm going to open myself up to God. And then they go, but there's a million reasons why what God has told me to do can't be. Like the maker mind gets the guidance and then turns around and comes up with all the reasons why they shouldn't follow the guidance or why the guidance shouldn't work. And those reasons to not follow the guidance, those reasons are always linked to learning that you have received in the past, or you are not carrying out your guidance because of the anxiety that you have about what you think may happen in the future. In other words, an ego mind, which is a maker mind, a getting mind, a striving mind, is never present. A striving maker, getting mind is never in the present moment. The striving maker, getting mind is always focused on the past or the future. In other words, you're not present. You're caught up in the illusion of duality, and you're not caught up in the reality of perfect oneness if you are a maker and a getter and a striver. So a creator is someone who knows. A creator is empty of themselves, empty of the small ego self that makes mistakes. The knower of reality. When you are a true creator, you are the presence of love. When you are a true creator, you are the spaciousness through which God extends God's perfect will. If you are a creator, you have no attachments. If you are truly a creator, you have no illusions. You have no false ideas. You have no fears. If you are truly the creator, if you are truly a person with the mind of a creator, you are not run by what other people think of you. If you are truly in your creative self, you are not allowing what other people think to run your life. And if you truly have the mind of a creator, you are not run by what you've accomplished in the past, and you're not run by what you think you ought to have in the future. So if you truly are a creator, you don't have any attachments, you don't have any illusions, you're not run by what other people think, you're not always thinking about what you did in the past, and you're not always focused on what you think is going to happen to you in the future. The mind of somebody that really knows, the mind of a creator, the mind of someone who knows and rests in true creativity, a mind that is truly creative is present. A mind that's truly creative, it's a mind that's witnessing the extraordinary. It's a mind that is watching the mysterious ways of love. So what does love do? We keep talking about love. What does love do? Well, what love does is love allows all things. Love embraces all things. Love trusts all things. Love transcends all things. Perfect peace. When can you have perfect peace? Well, perfect peace can only exist where the mind has transcended all conflicted states of reality. You can't have peace until you've transcended conflict. You won't be a creator, a true creator, until you have transcended conflicts that come from the state of duality. A state of duality is there is love, there is fear, there is hot, there is cold, there's peace, there's conflict, there's body, and then there's spirit. You have to transcend the world of duality and get to the point that the only thing that matters to you is love. The only thing you want is love. The only thing you see is love, or a call for love. So transcending is not going into denial. Transcending is not pretending that you've gone beyond fear or just avoiding things that you think would upset you. Transcending isn't denial. Transcending comes only through embracing. Transcending comes through embracing, through allowing, and through being here now. So transcendence comes from embracing, which is allowing all things, trusting all things, transcending all things, and transcending comes through being present. So your mind is a mind that has to be healed. Your mind is a mind that has to be healed. You don't need to heal your mind. You don't need to heal your mind. Now your mind, you have a mind that has been healed. You may not realize it yet, but your mind has been healed. You may not realize it yet, but your mind has been healed. You don't need to heal it. You don't need to heal your mind. So what is it that you need to do? If you don't need to heal your mind, what is it that you need to do? You only need to accept that healing has been accomplished. And how has healing been accomplished? It's been accomplished by the grace of that love that gave birth to you to create. You have already been healed by the love that created you. A teacher of God need only accept the atonement, which is the truth for yourself. Accept that all you want is to be a conduit for love and a conduit for God. Accept that for yourself. Say to yourself, I am already healed. I am already healed. I am already healed. I am already healed. Time to get on with it. I'm already healed. Time to get on with it. Tell yourself, I've already been healed, and it's time to get on with it. So every form of healing is just a context that's been created by love through a mind that has accepted healing. A context created that would give the mind that perceives itself as unhealed an opportunity to choose differently. And that's what I want to create for you. That's what I want to happen in my classes. A context where if you do have a mind that sees itself as unhealed, that you are being given the opportunity to choose differently. That's what the purpose of this is. This is a way of demonstrating to you exactly what I've been sharing with you in this lesson. Because in this moment, as a brother, in this moment, as your friend who loves you and who loves our Creator, I am merely allowing myself to create words that are being formed into a lesson that help to create a context that I'm literally observing emerge. I haven't planned it. I'm not trying to make anything happen. I am abiding in love. So out of the love I am now receiving, the thought from the will of my Creator, I'm observing it. I'm observing these thoughts that come from God flow through my mind. I'm watching these thoughts, and I'm watching them being translated through electrical impulses into that which creates words. And these words are being formed into a lesson that are then read or listened to by you. And then I'm sending vibrations. I'm sending vibrations to your brain, mind. I'm giving you permission to access it. I'm giving you permission to access these words and access it with the deeper self that knows the truth. Access what I'm saying. Access it with your deeper self that knows the truth. I am witnessing all these things even as it flows through my mind toward you. So I invite you now into the context of healing. I invite you now into the context of healing. I want you to say this right now. Say this within your holy mind. You ready? Say this. My mind has already been healed by the grace that birthed me in its image. My mind has already been healed by the grace that birthed me in its image. I need only use the power of the Christ mind to choose the perfect peace of God. I need only use the power of the Christ mind to choose the perfect peace of God. I do so now and forevermore. I do so now and forevermore. I am one who knows. I am one who knows. Father, what would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? Father, what would you create in this moment that is the extension of love? That's what you would say to yourself. So then do nothing but observe what comes into your mind. do nothing. Just observe what comes into your mind. Observe what feeling suddenly flows through the body. One more time, I invite you to come into this context of healing. And I want you to say this to your holy mind. My mind has already been healed by the grace that birthed me in its image. I need only use the power of the Christ mind to choose the perfect peace of God. I need only use the power of the Christ mind to choose the perfect peace of God. I do so now and forevermore. I do so now and forevermore. I am one who knows. I am one who knows. Father, what would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? What would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? Father, what would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? My Creator, what would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? What would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? Father, what would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? Ask that question. Father, what would you create in this moment that is an extension of love? And then don't do anything. Don't do anything. What you want to do is just observe what comes into your mind. Observe what feeling suddenly flows through the body. So, this was just a short exercise. It was just a context to demonstrate how it all works. No magic, no pilgrimages, no special pills, no special diet, no special love affairs, nothing special at all. Simply the presence of the Christ mind. Just focus simply on the presence of the love mind. So rest assured in that moment that if you are truly joining with that love mind, that Christ mind, then you have no thought whatsoever that you are separate. You don't have any thought that you are a separate ego when you truly join with your true mind, your Christ mind. You have no thought whatsoever that you are just this ego, just this separate person that doesn't know God. You were that love mind. You were that Christ mind. And you are engulfed in that process itself. Now you're in your right-mindedness. And in this moment, you are the knower. And as a knower, you are free to have as many moments of knowing as you want to experience, since you are moving into being the knower. Mighty companion, I'm going to stop here and do a quick little repeat of the exercise to cap this off. But listen and do these exercises that are exercises in observing your choices and choosing once again. Very powerful. And finishing this section. As a full-time teacher, this is what I do in the world. So I truly would appreciate if you feel moved to do so. A financial expression of appreciation. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, please go to my website, earlpurdy.com, Earl Purdy, PURDY.com. And you can also use Venmo. And my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. Please sign up for my contact list on my website. I'm available for one-on-one personal sessions to help you get past any blocks to applying this to your life. It's called a clarity session. If you go to my website, it explains my personal sessions in detail. And there are lots of videos and classes that are available on my website. I do Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles, 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Sunday on the EARL Purdy page on Facebook. If you don't have Facebook account and you want to watch, just go to www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. Just type in www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy Live. Even if you don't have a Facebook account, you'll be able to watch my live broadcast. And then on Tuesdays, of course, we have the Way of Mastery at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So are you a maker or are you going to be a creator? A creator operates completely different from a maker. And a creator has only one goal: to seek the kingdom of heaven, which is the peace of God. And there was one statement that the Way of Mastery gave us that we should say over and over again if we are ready to experience ourselves as creators. I'm so happy that you all come in and you see the value of us joining together. Thank you, Kim. Together live. So this is the statement that I want you to say with me, because this is the statement of seeking truly the will of love, the will of God, to be a creator. And it goes something like this. Take a breath. Are you ready? Now listen to this replay, listen to this class many times, and do the exercises that we did. So I would like for you to chant this with me. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. You choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. What about we? What about we? We choose now for the perfect peace of God. We choose now for the perfect peace of God. We choose now for the perfect peace of God. I can feel you all. I can feel you joining me. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. I choose now for the perfect peace of God. Mighty companions, I love you. I want to be the conduit of love. Do you want to be a maker or do you want to be a creator? I want to be a creator. I want to be a conduit. So ask God, ask Spirit, what do you want to create through me in this moment? Whatever you want to create through me in this moment, I am willing. So mighty companions, I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in with me in the Way of Mastery. See you next time. Thanks for the comments. I always look at all the comments.